Alright, so I'm getting this thing on jack stands, and not only is that going to motivate me to mess with it, but there's a ton of spider webs and crap underneath this thing. It's sad, and I just want to get it on all 4 jack stands and get it ready to start pulling the subframe for the M3 subframe. Once I get that subframe on there, my plan is to get this thing into the garage just the way it sits, with the front end of the car facing outside, so that I can have access to it to do engine bay work over winter, because my garage is not very big. Oh, this is kind of sad, you know. This car is rotting out. Look at that. Headlight fitment shot, everything shot right now. Sorry guys, but I did not show you how these were installed, or show the installation. I showed you on this blue car here what I did. It's same deal. You got to cut your factory arches out, tack weld it or weld it up, however you prefer doing it, and then do a seam seal across it. I've already done these a long time ago, because this used to have Hard Motorsport flares on there, and they had seen better days. So I got these on Facebook Marketplace, believe it or not. And if you know, when you order these, I'm pretty sure it takes a while to get them. I don't think they're in the US, so the shipping just takes a while. I think that's it. I'm not sure how fast it is, because luckily I found these on Marketplace, but they fit so good. And I only had to use 4 rivets. I just did here, 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 and here. And I mean, they are pretty solid just with those. And there was no waviness at all along this. And if you remember my Cliq tuning ones, which I'll show you right here, by the way, 22 rivets, 21 rivets, something like that, to try to keep it from getting wavy, and it still did. And it drives me nuts. I know that this is a coupe, obviously, so they have a larger over on it, but I'm pretty sure if I went with Musk on the coupe ones too, I would not have had this issue at all. And it bothers me a lot too, because the way this fits here around the tail light, if I would have forced this up a little higher to get closer here, it would have just bubbled out this whole piece here, or bowed it out really bad. So I had to rock with that. And if you just look at the fitment on these Cliq tuning ones versus these, it's insane. It's insane. I regret buying the Cliq tuning ones. I've told you guys about that before, how the fitment wasn't great. And if you look here, how they follow the door, it looks good, looks good, looks good. And then they have a second piece here for some reason. It's not one solid piece. I don't know if that's for shipping or something, but you can see how these fit. I mean, look at that. And I have it riveted here and here. There was nothing you could do about that unless you tie them in behind, maybe into one piece, but then you have this groove here, which is terrible. And that's correct. That's not an installation error, because this piece here overlaps and lays on this to make this trim piece here, this fake trim piece. I don't like them. Now I'm showing you guys how clapped this thing is. And if you look at this gap here, it's just terrible. It's terrible. And I did not want to use this many rivets. I've seen other people with the Cliq tuning overs, and some look better than others. I don't know what the deal is with that, but this drives me nuts. And these things just fit flawlessly. Like, I can't believe it. If we go back to this door here, where it follows this line, your door gap, it's almost perfect. So yeah, sorry I just talked about Overfenders for 3 minutes, but I'm just trying to make sure you guys save your time and go with the Musk. I know there's some other good brands out there that I haven't owned yet, so I'm not speaking for all the brands, but these Cliq tuning ones, sorry guys, it's not the way to go. It really isn't. These dogs are like part of Hell Rock Garage now. They're in all my videos for a split second, but they just run around and slow down my car progress out here, because I freak out because they get out of sight really fast. But back to the car stuff. All right, so today I'm going to be doing the subframe on this car, and I'm gonna do exactly what I did to the blue car, and I'm cutting out the spare tire bin or the spare tire well. It was life-changing, and I know it sounds ridiculous saying that, but until you guys do it yourself and you don't have that thing under there and you're doing diff work or subframe work, it is amazing. So I'm gonna start with doing that first, but this trunk is full of just spare parts and parts that were under the hood of this car that I just threw in the trunk. So I got to get that cleaned out. That's going to probably be the suckiest part of this whole subframe job, is cleaning out that trunk. And I'm going to get this 330 subframe out of here, put it off to the side, might list it for sale. Has a welded diff in it, but I think I'm going to hold on to that because the blue one, it's not sounding great, the welded diff in it. The rest of the stuff might hold on to for spare parts, might just gut this thing down, because it is a 330 subframe, so it has good brakes on it. These are terrible, terrible. Don't run them. Camber arms. I've had those on there forever, as you can tell. And I'm pretty sure the nuts on them are seized up by now and everything. And they also like to try to kill you because the welds break. I welded these as soon as I got them over the welds that come on them. So I recommend that. Or don't buy these at all and just get like the Megan Racing ones. I got those for like 180 bucks, I think. Not bad. That's what's on this M3 subframe also. But about this exhaust, that is like an 8-foot straight pipe off of eBay for 50 bucks. I've had this on this car since I turboed it, so 3 or 4 years. It was just like an easy way to get my exhaust together, especially really not knowing how to make my own stuff. But I'm probably gonna cut this thing up and keep the good parts out of it, maybe in for spare pipe, but I'm gonna be throwing away most of it. So let's get going on this mess here. All right, I haven't really looked in this trunk much since this car's been down. I know there's a bunch of stuff in it and the battery's dead, so I had to use the key. Battery's been dead in this for a long time now. So good news is that convertible that I have has a brand new battery in it, and it should be right. I don't know why it wouldn't be the right battery, so that'll be going in this. Ever work on something like before you're really in the cars, but you thought you were, and 8 years pass and you look back at some of the jobs you did and now you're stuck with them? It's a wonder this car, I guess, didn't burn down. That is that's impressive. You really screw yourself when you do jobs like this, when you're first getting in the cars, and then years pass and you go back to it and then you're stuck with it. You're stuck with having to fix your own mistakes that you did to yourself. I don't even know if I'm gonna show this. Look how dirty this is. And it is so dusty in here. And it's because these grommets are missing. Like there's one missing there. There's a piece of duct tape jammed in that one. And there's one down here missing, but I'm gonna vacuum this out before I do anything else, and then I'm probably going to cut this out. And now remember what I told you guys last time I did this on the blue car. Like you can see here, these tack welds or spot welds, that's not an area you're supposed to cut. So you'll get under the car, and I'll show you guys again, and you'll follow the line under the car for this back area here, and then the rest of this you can cut out from inside the trunk. And then here's the wiring. So I have a Holly set up on this for the fuel pump, and this is all okay, you know, it's in the trunk, no one can see it, but that's not the part that I'm concerned about. Oh, and I have a relay back here for my fuel pump, and I got a fuse here. This is fine, whatever. These connectors here are okay to use, but I wouldn't get the ones that are just non-insulated like that. It's kind of sketch. And then this tail light, I don't even remember what the deal was with this. Wow. Like the guts are just hanging out of that thing. The sun's messing up the camera. Yeah, so that's gonna have to be fixed. That is ridiculous. That's embarrassing. And then this battery is shot. It wasn't even that old. 1121. I may be able to charge it, but it's been sitting here dead for so long, I'm not sure. But I have another battery for it. But we do got the safety in here, in the trunk. Probably should keep that in the glove box. Well, actually, maybe it should stay in the trunk based on this. Man, the sun is really screwing up my camera right now, but I'm gonna get vacuuming and then get cutting. Actually, now that I'm thinking, I can't cut out the spare tire well until I remove the subframe, because I have to be able to get on the back side where the subframe, where the diff would be now, and cut below those spot welds. So I'm going to remove the stock subframe first and then cut that out. Sorry, I was all excited about cutting that out now, but got to do the other work first. Man, back to the whole working on cars when you first start versus years later, and you're like, why did I do that? Look at that stud. I don't know if that's from the welded diff hopping everywhere and the subframe was trying to eject from the car. I doubt it. That was definitely probably me. And then this drive shaft, you can see it's leaking CV juices, which I kind of knew that because it was slinging it everywhere. But drive shaft still felt okay in the car. They're expensive, no reason to get rid of it for that reason. But and then these bushings, man, I've had those bushings for a long time, so this is good because this stuff is kind of shot. And these subframe plates here are not welded all the way around, because when I welded these, I just bought a welder. I'm sure a lot of you guys, you bought your first welder when you had to do a E46 subframe, and it sucks. And that was with flux. So I just did like a 1-inch bead on all the corners and ran it, and it's been fine. But I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling this. I'll let you guys know if I see any other surprises. I'm sure I will. It's been 2 minutes since that last clip. Dude, I tack welded that nut on there. Oh, I probably just got it in my hair. But that's not a stupid idea, is it? I mean, I obviously didn't trust the retainer clip on there. Once again, this diff is going. Man, this is a good angle, ain't it? Well, that's a minor setback. What the heck? Dang. I don't think you're supposed to unthread your bushings. Alright, so this one wasn't great either. And look at that. How was that doing anything at all? How did I not notice that when I put the nut on, or feel the nut cross-threading, or whatever it did? So luckily I have 2 brand new ones here, so we're good on that. Obviously the threads in the body are okay, that's all that matters. Now on the other ones, you don't have studs, so they are threaded straight into the body when you tighten the frame down. Oh, I gotta look at those. That's scary, because if those are messed up, then the inserts in the floor of the car are bad. Okay, these look fine. Oh, that would have been something else. That would have been something else. And then these bushings, I had to like unthread it off the body. It was so stuck on the body. And they're just beat. They are beat. These are like the Flow Flex bushings off of eBay, but they're 5 or 6 years old. So they're shot. We got new ones though. Oh, this subframe has the 2 ears welded on it. Like I just did that one a couple videos ago. The Seems Legit Garage mount on it. And if you go look at the M subframe here, that's how they are from factory. So that's pretty cool. But other than that, the subframe itself is very close to being identical. Yeah, we don't need this where we're going. All right, I don't think it's on fire. I can't really tell actually, but I just did a rough cut. You can see how you leave this piece here. Once I clean all that up and make another aluminum block off plate to delete this, it should be all right. So this subframe came with newer Garagistic, however you pronounce that brand. I think I'm right. Subframe bushings, and obviously I'm going to make use of these because they came with it and they're not that old, and the ones I had are shot. I know some people would recommend probably going a lot stiffer than this, but we'll try them. We'll see how they work. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in. Hopefully I like these and I don't have to pull this off again. But yeah, these are easy to install. Just a mallet, that's all you need. Dead blow probably. But I don't know where mine's at right now because I'm not organized. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing in the car and call it a night. It's a beautiful view when you get rid of this. That's why I do it. Go ahead and get these installed, these new ones. Thankfully I had some. Get those tight to spec or whatever it is. We'll see how I feel, if I want to look them up or not. You got this more of a tubular setup than your cast, so that's pretty nice. It's probably not that much different, but definitely going to use this one. That brace is pretty fancy. I feel like I'm moving up in the world with that one. Before you guys have a heart attack, I am using a torque wrench, Amazon. And we're gonna go to 57 foot-pounds on those 4. And it's getting too dark to film. Okay, let's hope that these pass, because if they don't, then I'm kind of screwed. Well, I can always buy the 6-point brace for the trunk and bolt to that instead. I'm not wanting to really do that yet. This is kind of scaring me. Please. Sweet. I know the front 2 are gonna probably be fine, but these back 2 I was kind of scared about. Front 2 are new. All right, I can sleep tonight. Easy peasy. Come on, man. That makes me feel good. Why am I still wearing my safety glasses? Okay, so it's been 2 days and it's getting dark already, and I haven't finished the subframe because I have no daylight and my heat went out in my house. So I've been dealing with that. That took priority over this, believe it or not. But I just ran into These will not plug into the car. This is a 2001. Who knows what this subframe came out of, like what year. It may not matter, but I'm going to probably cut these plugs off here, these connectors off, and put my connectors off of my original subframe on here and try that, because I want to have a speedo and stuff. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to have to dig a little deeper. But right now, this isn't a huge priority. I'm just trying to get this car set up where I can roll it into the garage and start working on other stuff. But leave in the comments if you've done a swap like this, and if changing this connector is enough to make your speedo and everything work. I forgot what side, if it's the right or left sides for the speedo, but I would like them both to work. All right, 57 pounds on all of these, just like the subframe bolts. Make sure you use a torque wrench, guys. I used to just ugga-dugga everything, but I've learned my lesson. Fit pretty good. All right, so the car is obviously not settled yet, but I forgot to mention these Musk overs, the arches sit higher, so you can go even lower. So that's why my gap looks crazy. I was pretty low before too, so that's pretty cool. And either Hard Motorsports or Musk is lying here, because they're supposed to be M3 fitment, I believe, and I have a lot more room with the Musk. You can tell by the rear bumper, because this was aligned with my flares before, and you can see how much wider it is. So super excited on the Musk. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm so happy to get rid of this 250,000 mile subframe. Bushings were shot. Huge upgrade. Can't really see a little bit. I don't have the aluminum delete panel in yet. I gotta make that, but that diff looks pretty cool. Never had a fin diff before, never been cool. So next step, get this thing in the garage. It's gonna be a slow process, guys. That's all I gotta say.